This is my least favorite part of doing any job, looking for the tools. You need a 10 socket and a 10-12 crescent wrench, which we'll find, but it's gonna take a while.
Well, good morning everyone, and hope everybody's having a happy Easter. It is Sunday. It is relatively gorgeous here. It's just shy of 60 finally again, as we had snow just 2 days ago. Today I'm going to do something a little different, but I guess every video is different, so it's the same and normal. The plan is today to get Katie's Genuine Buddy out to get that running, because that didn't run at all last year, though it was winterized 2 years ago. But I'm sure that didn't hold. But yeah, let's go to the back and we'll walk to the shed, and ooh, the sun's gorgeous, and see what we got going on. Hey, love.
Hi.
Oh, I thought we were wearing the same sweatshirts for a second. That would have been weird and awkward.
Okay. No matchy-matchy.
No matchy-matchy. Unless we're at the track. Then it's okay.
Then it's okay.
This was originally an all-black Buddy 125 that we did some custom, well, not even custom. These are stock body panels. This was off of the Victoria's Secret scooter color. That was a very limited edition. And I just bought the panels and we put the panels on them so it'd be black and pink, because I thought it was cool looking. Let's roll it up front. The brakes actually feel very good, which is surprising. The front calipers on these are known to seize after they sit a long time. Okay. Fuel tank's venting already. And looks like we had a friend trying to live in here.
Well, that's not cool.
Well, hopefully he didn't do too much damage. He didn't live in there very long, but he was chewing up some papers. Definitely a little mousy guy. There's mouse turd in there.
Ugh.
Ugh is right.
As long as he's not still in there.
Hey, I was looking for these.
Well, there they are.
There they are. So this is a Genuine 125. They're nothing special, but they are amazing bikes. This one will do 65 on a good day. Definitely not a highway machine. This one's got 24,000 miles on it, which is quite impressive and really good for a Buddy. So we have, as customers, I have customers who have them with 20, 25. They're just really good machines if you take care of them. So what we're going to need for this thing to get the carburetor out, do a carb clean on it, we're going to need a 10mm socket, and we're going to need a screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, and those are pretty much that and a 10mm, 12mm, 10mm, one of the two, wrench to undo the throttle cable. So pretty much just 3 tools and you can have the carburetor out of this thing, which is pretty nice. So let me get the tools and we'll get going. Okay, let's get into this here. So first thing we're gonna do, there are 10 4mm bolts down in here. We've got 1, 2, and then down by the mouse poo there's 2 more. That's just how it is. It's actually not bad. I did put Stabo in it before we put it away. I don't know if it'll burn, but it doesn't smell awful, which is good. That should be it. Now the seat bucket lifts right out. Grab the top of the seat, it'll be easier. Yeah, you can close it. Yeah, there you go. Lift it right out. Okay. And there, down inside, is our carburetor. It really doesn't look like the mouse got into it too bad. Nothing else looks pretty. Nothing else looks damaged at all. So on that carburetor, you're going to have a Phillips head screw right here, a Phillips head screw on the other intake boot.
Right there?
Yep. And you're going to loosen those up. Yep, loosen those up. It's okay. Just have to loosen them, don't take them all the way out. Okay. Then take your 12 and this one. Leave my finger on that. Yeah, right there. And loosen that. And once that's loosened, you loosen the front one now.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, it should be finger tight now because you loosen the jam nut. Just unscrew it all the way off. And remove the little rubber cap that's on the front of it. Just push that forward. Okay, now pull that cable toward the back. Yep, pull, yep, pull, and then it'll slide out toward you. Yep, now take it toward you, there you go. Yep, there you go, that's out. Okay, now, remove this hose here, just pull it out, grab the carburetor by the top, and rotate it forward. So you need to pop it out of there. Yep. It should be out of the boot. You're probably just stuck on this. If you follow this line goes up through here, goes through this little hanger, up here, and it's going to go to a red plug up by your head. Oh, sorry, fuel line. Forgot the fuel line. It just pulls off. There's your carburetor. We need to get some paper towels or something. For your carburetor, you're going to need a 7, you need a flat blade screwdriver, and your Phillips heads to remove these screws. Unscrew these 3 screws. Try not to strip them. So you want to
say with much force.
Because if you strip them, you're going to have a much harder time getting them out. There you go. It's going to bite it anyway. There you go. Everything's loose. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, now your float bowl comes off. Yep. Take it straight up and off. Okay, so we've got some green fuel in there. It's definitely dirty. This is like the simplest of carburetors as they can go. And I'll kind of explain a little bit of what we've got going on inside here. Okay. So first off, this is what we're going to try to get off on the bike. This is the auto choke. So what that does, power is applied to there once the bike is started and running, because it runs off of, typically runs off the AC current side. And as the bike runs, this little plunger, this little plunger gets pushed out and seals the choke port. So while it's in, it's open, and as it comes out, it closes it so that the bike will idle down and run properly. So that's the first piece. We're going to clean it off. It's got a little bit of crud around it. It's all pretty normal. Next, very basic things on this carburetor. You have the float. So this thing here moves up and down. As it goes down, it opens the valve right here and allows fuel to come into the float bowl and fill up the float bowl. And as fuel comes in, pushes this up and it closes the needle and stops fuel from flowing. As fuel gets used, it opens up, allows fuel back in, and it closes. It keeps you from flooding out your engine. So that's what that does. So we take the screwdriver and remove that one screw and remove the float. And there's your float needle and your float pin. So right here, hanging off of it, that is your float needle. It's got a little Viton rubber tip. That is what seals inside this little port inside there where your fuel comes in. Okay. You'll take your 7, did I get this? I got you, yeah. And remove the main jet. So, okay, so next parts of this thing. This tube here is what goes to your auto choke. This is what gets fuel to your choke mechanism. So we'll make sure that that's cleared out. We'll spray some fuel through, carb cleaner through it and make sure it's clear. This is your idle jet. This little tiny guy here is your idle jet. This is what allows, at idle, fuel to go in here and get pulled into the Venturi passage and run. And this guy here is your main jet and your emulsion tube. It's got holes in it. We'll check all those, make sure they're clean. 9 times out of 10, this is what's going to be clogged. Your idle jet clogs, and that's why bikes don't run in the spring.
9 or 9?
9 times! 9 times.
9 times.
This is what causes your bikes not to run in the springtime, is this little guy here, because the hole in there is very tiny. And you got this other little passage here, which is actually connected to the float pole, and that is your sprayer. And that's when you goose the throttle, it injects fuel straight down the throat of the carburetor, so that it doesn't bog out when you're getting on the throttle hard, like when you're leaving a stoplight or a stop sign. That's what that's for. And then once it sprays it once, you get that burst of fuel, and you won't stall out. So 7 on here. Take out your main jet, and so there's your emulsion tube. Take the screwdriver, and you'll break your idle jet free. Start stabbing things with your finger, please. There you go. It's loose. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to spray some carb cleaner on there. You should probably not have your rings on for this. You can see down inside the carburetor a little bit now. It's just a big open cavity. There we go. And this is where our fuel comes in, and the fuel valve opens and closes and allows fuel in. This is our main. This is our idle jet, and this is where our sprayer is, or what we call the accelerator pump thing, and it comes up into a little nozzle right here that sprays straight down. And there, this is a CV carb, so this is vacuum operated. As air goes through and gets brought into this chamber here, it'll create a low pressure system up inside and causes this to open and close on its own. So it's not like a slide carb a lot of people are used to, where you goose it and you're actually manually opening and closing this. This is not the style. Still does have a butterfly in there. So as you open the butterfly, you get more airflow. Open, close. Again, this is as basic of a design of a carburetor as you'll get. This is our float chamber, float bowl, and this is our accelerator pump. Actually, when you hit the throttle, it actually sprays a little bit of fuel, like that. So what you're going to do, take a little carb cleaner, and you're going to spray out the entire of this chamber, probably over the top of the concrete. Just nicely sprayed out really well. Don't get it in your eye. Carb cleaner burns. Will not make you go blind though. Okay, that looks good. Now what you're going to do, we're going to check to make sure these passages, mostly your idle passage, is clear. So what I do when I do this is I crack open the butterfly with my finger. You can see that.
Yeah.
And take a carb cleaner, and we'll spray it. If you watch down inside, you're going to see, is it spraying?
Yep.
Inside?
Yep.
The idle, the main jet, the main needle in there, it looks clean. Clean-ish. I'm not going to worry about it. So we'll spray out this as well. Do the same thing. Spray that out, and we'll check that the accelerator pump is working. Okay. So then what we do with this is normally it will spray carbon choke cleaner into the bowl and put a little puddle in there. And then the little hole down inside here is the intake for the accelerator pump.
Okay.
And I'll put my finger over it and squeeze, and it should come out this one.
Okay.
And we're a little bit gummy because it didn't want to return as quick. But yeah, so I'll put my finger over it, squeeze. Okay, they're starting to spray now. Yeah, now we're doing it. So we know the accelerator pump's pretty clear. And it's got fresh, we pumped out all the bad gas out of it. So that's clean. We will now spray into the accelerator pump. A lot of times what happens with this one is, and I've had guys, mechanics at the shop do this, they get the carb nice and clean, and they don't check that this port's full. They get the carburetor back in the scooter, and it idles fine, but as soon as they go to get on it, it stalls. Because it's not getting that spray out of the accelerator pump. So we'll do the same thing where you're going to take carb cleaner, try to line up that hole as best as possible and spray a little bit, and we'll see if it sprays out of that little nozzle there. Yep, perfect. Shut right down. Do it again, you can see it. Yep, perfect. So that's clear. Oh, but you don't put your carb cleaner away yet.
I didn't.
You just spray down this one, it should just bubble out the side of it. Now just spray that down really good, get all the crud out of that thing. Okay. Now, get your driver, and take off the cap. There you go. You have to, hang on to it because there's a spring under there. It's not a tight spring, just you don't want to launch it. It can come out, again, because there's this, yep, you feel the spring underneath there. Now I'll explain to you what that does as well. It actually isn't that bad. It's a good thing that I put winter stable in it. Now how this works, so they don't lose that. So this, I'm glad we got that out of there. There's a lot of crud in there. So that needs to be sprayed out as well. So this is our diaphragm. This is a diaphragm. This is a CV carb. So what happens is, spray that out. I want to get all the crud back on top of it. So this sits down inside here like this, and is sealed with the cap. The cap seals it off. As you pull in more air, it makes this do this by the amount of airflow. In turn, when it does that, this is sitting in here like this, and it raises out of it and allows more fuel to be brought in. As the air goes into these holes, it pulls more fuel up and allows you to go faster. We should double check what we want to check on this. There's no rips in the diaphragm. If there's any rips in the diaphragm, it will not work. Okay, so this goes back in here. The important thing about putting these back in is not to pinch this diaphragm. Yep, that's good, tight. Okay, so now I'm gonna take these and look them up into the sunshine and see if you can see through them. That one should be easy. That's the main jet. That's pretty big. That one is one that we could have a plug problem with. Yeah. No sunlight?
I see nothing.
Okay, so we'll first see if you can just blow it out by going from this end. See if it's kind of inside there-ish. Put your finger around it and you can blow that out. See if you can get any kind of fluid to spray out the other end of it. Okay, there you go. Bring the blow through. Do it again. Okay, now you put it in your mouth and blow on it. Now see if you can see through it. It should be a nice round hole. If it's oval or anything, it's still clogged a little bit and it'll re-clog.
It's round.
So that can go back in. Your main can go back in. Drop it in. Yep. And then that just goes in snug. It doesn't have to be crazy tight. Just snug it up with the 7. Okay. Put that back on the float needle, or on the float. And you want to drop it back in. You want to put your pin back in the hole, also non-directional. Yep. You set it right in there, and then you put your screw back in to hold it. So now you can put your float bowl back on. Again, there's a gasket in there. It seals as soon as it's nice and tight. Okay. You can put your you want to spray the artichoke off. So that goes back in. Good job. Yep, perfect. No, you're good. That is a clean carburetor. And that goes right back in. Oh yeah, you're good. Okay, now rotate your clamps to the point where you can re-snug them up. And don't go crazy, just snuggy.
Snuggy.
Sounds good. Throttle cable wants to go on now. Basically do it in the reverse of how you took it off.
Okay.
That's it. You've rebuilt the carburetor. Or not rebuilt, you've cleaned.
Is this up too high?
It shouldn't be, the bucket shouldn't hit it.
Okay.
And it's all cleaned, everything seems nice and tight. So what we can do is spray some carb cleaner into it and see if she'll fire up. Now let's see if we got power. fresh fuel, she'd run perfect.
That's so exciting.
I'm just, yeah, I was metering the backflow because there's nothing to cause enough vacuum to pull that bad fuel up. She's a runner. She's a runner, babe. Well, and that will conclude this episode of working on Katie's little genuine buddy. And so she can drive and go groceries and stuff in it, maybe if she wants. Because how fun would that be to, you know, I gotta go get cookies. And so we'll put some fresh fuel in it, and it'll run fantastic. It's just that fuel's a year and a half, 2 years old, and I'm actually surprised it ran that well. Stable is a wonderful thing, and the carb wasn't that awful. So I will need to get an air filter for it because it's never going to run great unless I get an air filter for it. It just needs that pressure on that side to build enough vacuum to pull fuel. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching this episode. Remember to like and subscribe.